It's not a cookie, it's an orange! Hey gamers, welcome back to another Top 10 Gaming video. I'm your host Connor Monroe, and this is going to be a long video, so let's deal with the exposition. Like, comment, subscribe, and share this with a friend who likes Xbox or prefers PS4. Should be fun for either of them. I bet you can't tell which one I prefer. This is the Top 10 Xbox Creepypastas you've never heard. That's for those of you who caught the typo in the Eevee Creepypastas video. Roll the intro. Number 10, Xbox 360 Blood Edition. The author Ansa552 from Taringa.net was playing video games at home one day when he got a phone call from his brother asking if he wanted to try out his new Xbox 360. Of course, the author agreed and headed over. When he arrived, they started playing Halo Reach. When they finished, the author went around looking for stores selling Xbox 360s, but out of the blue, he found a garage sale, so he checked it out. One part of the Xbox was red. He checked the price and it said free, so he took it home with him. When he got back, he read the label and it said, "Warning, this Xbox can consume your soul while playing." He ignored it because of course he did and proceeded to set it up. When it started up, a message appeared with a black background and red text. It said, "Are you sure?" and two options appeared, yes or no. But before he could pick, voices started playing from the TV. Shriveled versions of his ancestors and recently departed family members appeared, and they all said the same thing: "Why did you condemn us?" Then, when the author ignored it, because again, of course he did, they said, "Why did you make us suffer?" He tried to run but was paralyzed with fear, and the video kept playing over and over. It eventually stopped and said, "You have learnt your lesson. You will fall asleep and think that this was all a nightmare." When he woke up, he threw the Xbox in the trash and switched to PlayStation. And before you ask, yes, this character is me, and the shirt is my way of fending off that damn Xbox. Number 9, complete the game. This author from a Facebook post was playing his favorite game on Xbox, Skyrim. He loved the graphics and thought the game was way better than Oblivion. However, there was one quest that would never work. At first he thought it was his Xbox, but it kept not working, even after playing other games. The Xbox seemed perfectly fine. He thought it was the disc, but when he took it out, the game kept playing. He tried to put the disc back in, but it wouldn't work. The Xbox was blocking all discs. An NPC walked past the player and said a generic line of dialogue, but another said something else. "You must complete the game." As they said this, the Xbox controller cord wrapped itself around the wrists of the author. He tried, but he couldn't get them to budge. He was stuck playing the game until the Xbox decided it was time for him to go. He played through the story, but he got the same line: "You must complete the game." He completed both DLCs as well, but still, nothing. He got the same message: "You must complete the game." The Xbox only let him go when the author went to the top of the tallest mountain, the throat of the world, and jumped off. Yikes. Number 8, Watch Your Back. By Unspeakable Jelly on creepypasta.xyz, this creepypasta is also supposed to serve as a warning for various hackers you may come across while you're playing games online. There are various different types of hacker in online games. The hackers who do it for fun and try not to cause harm, those who do it to gain various items or currency in games, and there are those who do it to annoy you. But the author warns of the very rare hacker who can scar you for life, find your address, hunt you down, try to scare you, and sometimes they even may try to kill you. A week before writing, the author and his friend Joe were playing Rainbow Six Siege when a random player got into the game. He turned on his mic and he sounded as if he was in his late 20s. He was mad because they had a 4-game losing streak and threatened him, saying that he will hack him and figure out where he lives. The author said to do it, since most people make veiled threats online. The hacker left the game and told the author to watch his back. A few hours later, the author's parents said they were heading out to dinner and didn't pay much attention to the author. When they left, the ice maker in the fridge started, the power cuts out, and the Xbox turns on, which is weird because the power's out but the Xbox is on. The author hears heavy breathing and footsteps coming down the hallway, the door is jammed and there is no escape. The Xbox turns off and a bloody face appears on the TV with text under it that reads, "Watch your back." Number 7, Just Xbox. Another Monica. This unknown author from the Creepypasta Wiki had both an Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, and had different games for each console, so whenever he wanted to play a specific game, he would boot up whichever console he had the game for. But one day he had booted up the Xbox to play Halo, but changed his mind and decided to play GTA on the PS3. The Xbox seemed offended, as if it had emotions. It would be running more and seem as if it was groaning at the use of the PlayStation. When the author finished with GTA, he turned off both consoles and went to bed. When he had woken up in the morning, the GTA disc was in the Xbox. When the author removed it, the blue PS3 part of the disc was scraped off. So he loaded the game to make sure the disc wasn't damaged. It wasn't, so he played shortly before going to school. When he got home again, the GTA disc was in the Xbox again, but the PS3 part of the disc was gone, and it had started to turn green. The Xbox had been turning the PlayStation games into Xbox games. Knowing that this may actually be a good thing, the author let the Xbox do this. After a few months, all the games had been converted, but one night, the author woke up choking, with the Xbox sitting on top of him, power cord around his neck. Number 6, just a glitch. I loaded up Modern Warfare 2 and started playing Search and Destroy as always. I kept playing it for an hour, then I noticed that there were 13 players in the game. I thought it was a weird glitch as this has happened to me before, so I ignored it and started muting everybody, until I got to Bot 2. For some reason it didn't let me mute them. I didn't really care because Bot 2 wasn't talking. Strangely, Bot 2 was in my game when I backed out. I then went into their profile and it showed mine. I then turned off my Xbox thinking it was some sort of glitch. I then turned it on and it was working properly. I started up Modern Warfare 2 and when I went into a multiplayer game, no one else was in my game. I started up Search and Destroy again and as soon as I connected, Bot 2 connected. This time Bot 2 was on my team. Bot 2 spawned as a ranger but was on the other side of the map. Bot 2 did absolutely nothing. A couple rounds into the game, Bot 2 started sending me messages saying nothing. I went into their profile again and my Xbox froze. I was pretty freaked out and then I went back to Modern Warfare 2 again. This time I went to campaign. All of my save data was erased, so I started up SSDD. It said the mission takedown, which if I recall is another mission. I spawned inside the pit. I was trapped and all the enemies said Bot 2. I shot one of my enemies and the Xbox froze. Then it turned off. Halfway through at number 5, Garage Sale. Terrifying Banana from the Creepypasta Wiki had read a lot of creepypastas before. He knew how they worked and that anything they get is from a garage sale. He decided to try it for himself since he knew all creepypastas were fake, maybe he would be inspired to write one. Well, be careful what you wish for. The old man up the street was selling an Xbox One, so he decided to grab it for 10 bucks. The old man said his son was ungrateful, so no matter how much the two were attached, the Xbox had to go. The author brought it home and set it up and played so late into the night that he fell asleep with Halo still on the screen. When he woke up, he still had his controller in his hand, but the Xbox was gone. He asked his father, but his father didn't know where it went. His mother didn't know either. But when he left for school, as he passed by the man whom he had purchased the Xbox from, it was there, sitting on the table, the same place as the day before. He left for school and came back. When he got home, the Xbox was gone. His father had purchased it as a way to make the author feel better that his has gotten stolen. But when he explained the situation to his father laughed. The Xbox left again that night, and when he woke up, it was in the same place. Determined to catch the old man stealing it, when the author went to bed that night, he set up a camera. And at night, the Xbox just walked away. Number 4, The Noise. The user SammyR123 from the Creepypasta Reddit page was playing BattleBlock Theater when he got a message from his friend. It was only gibberish and incohesive words. The next day, his friend said that he had never sent that. That night, he got the same message again, but this time could make out the word help. He thought his friend was playing a joke, so he tried to leave it be. The next night, the same thing, but this time, he had made out, "Help me, I'm Sally Greenwood." Terrified, the author looked up that name and found police reports of a girl who died in a horrible fire. The day after, he received the final message. It said, "Help me, Sam. Help me cheat death. My name is Sally Greenwood. Don't let me die." He looked up the name once more and her best friend Sam Rennie committed suicide shortly after the fire. Was this a joke? Who is Sam? And what is going on? Everything went black. The author fainted and hit their head off a table, and strangely enough, that's how Sam died, bashing his head off a table. But did the author ever wake up? Number 3, The Nightmare. The author and his friend Josh were looking at games for the Xbox 360. They found some games they enjoyed and asked the cashier how much. The cashier explained that they were having a promotion and that the games were free. That's never a good thing. If a game is free, don't take it. There's obviously some sort of catch. When they got home, they loaded up the game and a bloody version of the Xbox 360 logo came on screen. This is exactly what I'm talking about. There's something wrong. They started playing Fallout, but there was blood all over the title screen. They played for an hour before turning it off. As they did, they heard someone scream bloody murder. He turned the Xbox on again and there it was again. The author screamed, "What do you want from me?" To which the Xbox responds, "Your soul." Then the author ultimately perished. As the friend came out of the washroom, because apparently he was there, he saw a bloody monster. It had a gun. It asked Josh if he had any last words. He said, "I'm gonna wake up now," and the monster ran out of the house. Josh woke up with the author in his room and told him about his nightmare. Number 2, Xbox None. This one from an unknown author on the Creepypasta Reddit page is more of a poem and shorter than most pastas, but here it is anyway. There was the Xbox 360, to which you have not. With the Xbox controllers, you shall rot. The only one left is the Xbox One, but after that, you'll be Xbox None. Number 1, Broken. This unknown author from the fandom page claims to have bought an Xbox from GameStop new and untouched for his son, but when he got home it wouldn't turn on. He called a repairman number he saw on a billboard since his son would be gone for 2 days. The repairman said his services were free and returned the fixed Xbox. The Xbox ran fine. He booted up Modern Warfare 3 and started playing through the campaign. The author played until he died, but when he died he lost control of his character. He stumbled around for a bit before hitting the ground and blacking out. When his character woke he was tied to a chair and someone was staring at him. Someone with a winter hat and goggles on, as well as a smile.exe mouth covering his own. He was standing behind a table with torture weapons on it. A masked figure picked up a scalpel and walked towards the player. They used the scalpel to cut out the left eye of the player, causing that side of the screen to go black. After that, he grabbed the player's leg and smashed it into the chair, breaking the bones. As the author hears the crack, the screen just goes black. No rhyming intended. After 5 minutes of silence, the masked man comes back on screen and said, "You are weak. You are human. Humans are weak." That's why these games are created. To give children and teens that play them a sort of false sense of immortality. In real life, you cannot take 10 bullets to the knee and survive in battle for very long. You will die. We all die eventually. He then pulled his mask off, revealing the face of the man who repaired the author's Xbox. What was that? Why is that door opening? That's it for today's list of the top 10 Xbox creepypastas you've never heard. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure you hit like and subscribe for more Daily Gamer content. Before we go, I'm going to read out some comments from the Minecraft creepypastas you've never heard of video. The part 3 I held up to. The letter 3 said, "Minecraft is still better than Fortnite." Amen, brother. Amen. Green Coonboat said, "Here's a creepypasta for you. I was mining diamonds and fell into lava and lost everything." Jesus Christ, don't scare me like that, man. Oh. X Gaming Thunder said, "Drink Notch with an AK-47. Is that a whiskey? Sounds like it. Sounds like fun. Cinnamon Roll said, "Now I'm thinking to myself, should I play Minecraft? Yes, just not using the villager killer seed." If you made it to the end of the video, comment which you prefer, PlayStation, Xbox, or Nintendo. Thank you once again for watching. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video.